Rewind to 1079 Monty Jett. Glad to be back on the Saturday show. And as I promised you last week and all this morning, I will be featuring live local artists and musicians. And always consider my dear friend Laura Pursell local because she's been here before and played, and so excited about your new album. But first of all, welcome, Laura. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me again. I love your show. I love your program.
Well,
anytime.
I started this Saturday morning show again, and you're just going to feature a lot of live local artists in the area. And you have a very special album. You actually unveiled it in Los Angeles a few weeks ago, and are going to do it again in Nashville. It's Lost in Time. Tell me about the album.
Yeah, Lost in Time is the last studio album that Dad and I were working on together before he tragically passed away from COVID in 2020. We had started this album as really a tribute to my mother. My mother passed away in 2018 from the effects of vascular dementia and Alzheimer's. And so it meant a lot to Dad to write some material in her honor, to celebrate her. He was very, very moved and saddened by everything that she had to go through in the final years of her life. So he wrote some beautiful music. And what happened, we went into the studio, the tracking room. We recorded 3 tunes, and then the pandemic hit. Yeah. And we had to, wait it out. So during that waiting out period, Dad wrote 4 more arrangements for 4 more songs that we had written together and that he had found. And I never got a chance to hear them because we didn't get to go into the studio to do them. And then he passed away in September of 2020. So I had 3 tunes in the can, and I had 4 arrangements, and I knew that was enough to finish the album. So I promised Dad when he was in the hospital that I would finish this record for him because it was so important to him. And about a year later, I went in and we recorded those 4 arrangements that he had written. They were absolutely beautiful. And then we had to supplement it with 3 more tunes, which were easily done because he had written so much music. Yeah. So that is how Lost in Time came to be. And what started out as a tribute to my mother became a tribute to both of them.
And it's titled a tribute to Bill Pursell because a lot of people, especially the older generation, will know Bill Pursell, who had a top 10 hit in 1963, Our Winter Love. But so much beyond that. He taught at Tennessee State, at Vanderbilt, at Belmont. He was a doctor of musical arts. He's played with Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline, Joan Baez, J.J. Cale, Willie Nelson, Dan Fogelberg. I mean, I could go on and on, but that gives you a good variety of the type of artists that he played with. And you were very close to your family.
Oh my gosh, Dad and I were like 2 peas in a pod. We fought a lot, but we were the most alike of any 2 people in the family, and we were both the musical ones. And so I was really blessed for 22 years to be able to work with him and to go into the studio and record with him and soak up all that knowledge and that musicality. I mean, how lucky was I?
You were very lucky, and I was lucky to be there when you recorded those 3 tracks in the tracking room and on other occasions as well. But the last 3 tracks, and to watch him at age 94, the minutia and what he could hear and being kind of from the sound part of, and I'm not musical, but from the sound aspect of it, he would change. He was layering groups in it, he said, for the background, and he just changed the timing like an eighth, and it made all the difference in the world. I mean, he was really amazing man.
I had forgotten about that. I think you're talking about the track on Motherless Children.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. He wrote these background parts that were so complicated. They were Burt Bacharach inspired, and they were so outside the box. And, I can sing, but I'm not a monster sight reader. So I looked at that chart and I thought, oh my God, this? And Dad said, well, no, look, you don't have to sing it exactly the way that I wrote it. These are a lot of ideas. Just pick your own, you just feel it. I said, oh gosh, I'm going to have to because the intervals were so sophisticated and they had to blend in with 4 other voices. And we were there in that afternoon to finish it, and we did it, and it sounds great.
It's
it really
one of the best versions of Motherless Children I've ever heard. And now that we've talked about it so much, I should be playing that song, but I've picked another one. Let me ask you, how did you choose the other tracks to fill in?
Well, Sweet Dreams, which was a Patsy Cline tune, for obvious reasons, because Dad was on that recording with Patsy Cline.
Yeah.
He played vibraphone on that, and the great Floyd Kramer was on piano on that particular track. But that was one of the last tunes that Patsy recorded, and Dad was in the studio with her. Mm-hmm. She died exactly 1 month later, on March 5th. They were recorded on February 5th. I read that. I thought that was amazing. And so that was a natural, and he rearranged it for me. Mm-hmm. And so that had to go on the album. Motherless Children was a song that I had found. I'd heard a Roseanne Cash recording of it, and I loved it. I just thought it was fun. And Dad loved the blues. He loved jamming to the blues. He loved playing to the blues. He loved turning the blues inside out and putting his own stamp on it. And I knew that was something that he could really go to town with. And boy, did he.
Yes, he did.
He did on that tune. And then the third one we did was a tune that Dad had written for Mom called Lost in Time. And Dad wrote those lyrics. He wrote it as a poem for my mother when he was grieving that loss. Mm-hmm. And then he put it to music, and then it just became this beautiful, cinematic, orchestral elegy to my mom. Yeah. And that was the one he really labored over, and I am so glad that we got that in the can before he passed away. And that's him on piano, that's him playing, that's him conducting the strings, down to the last note. That is all Bill Pursell.
How did you pick the Janice Ian song that I'm going to play here in just a second?
Janice Ian. Well, I love Janice Ian. I grew up listening to At 17. I always thought that was such a fantastic tune. And to be honest, Monty, I was searching around on Apple Music and looking for ideas, and I somehow ended up on Janice Ian, and I heard that record. I heard that album, and I think she had recorded it, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 years ago. I'll have to look it up. And it hadn't really been covered by a lot of people, and I loved the lyrics. I just thought it was a beautiful, hopeful tune about love, and I sent it to Dad, and he responded to it right away. And we didn't always agree right away on the same songs, but we did agree on that one. So he started working on it right away. And, you know, Dad, he worked so fast, I think he got this arrangement done in 1 or 2 days.
You know, it's such a positive song. I didn't recognize it as a Janice Ian. Usually she's a little political or a little, you know, talking about the issues. But when I heard it, I said, wow, that's an incredible song. And you really interpreted it well.
Well, thank you. It just really speaks to me. And, you know, Janice Ian heard my version. It was sent to her, and she gave me a really nice endorsement.
What
did
she say?
It was absolutely beautiful, and she hopes it sells 1 million copies.
Let's listen to Laura Pursell with Janice Ian's Every Love.
Every love is different. Every love's the same. Every love has memories. Every love has pain. I knew love at 30, and I knew love at 9. But the love I know right now is the sweetest love I'll ever find. Town's familiar. Every town is strange. When you're feeling lonely, every town's the same. I have dreamed of Paris, and I have dreamed of Rome, but the dream we're in right now is the sweetest dream I've ever known. Touch me in the silent shelter of the night. Hide me safely in your arms. share of sorrows, but I have no regrets. Love is made of silver, love is made of gold, but the love that we have made is the sweetest love I've ever known. Silver, love is made of gold, but the love that we have made is the sweetest love I've ever known. It's the sweetest love I've ever known.
Laura, that was incredible, and it was just beautiful with the strings, and I loved it.
It was easy to sing. A good song is easy to sing. You know, it kind of flies out of your mouth. The lyrics are so beautiful and really simple. It's a simple song, and I think that's the beauty of that song.
Well, it's on an album that is far from simple. It's complex, it's orchestral, it's cinematic, as you said. It's Lost in Time, a tribute to Bill Pursell. It's available on netcommusic.com, netcommusic.com. You can buy tracks, you can buy the whole album. If you're in the Nashville area, on June the 15th, which I think is next Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday.
It sure is.
Please come by and hear Laura perform the entire album, and I'll be there emceeing the event.
Yes, and if you can't come to Nashville for the show, it will be live streamed.
Oh.
It will be live streamed on the Third and Lindsley is the name of the venue. It will be on the Third and Lindsley site, and I'm working to get the link so I can put it on my site and on the Netcom Music site as well.
And
so
I'll
check
put it
those
on
websites. You should have a link to be able to watch it.
And we'll put it on rewind1079.com's
Please. Awesome.
link there. Laura, always a pleasure. I'll see you in Nashville.
I'll see you in a few days.
Okay.